Okay, so welcome back to another video on this channel. In today's video, we are going to be having a look at Erling Haaland potentially moving from Borussia Dortmund across the sea to London to the Champions of Europe to Chelsea Football Club. Will we be signing another generational talent the year that we won the Champions League with the initials of EH, of course, Eden Hazard alluding to when he joined us after our Champions League win in 2012. Will it happen? Only time will tell, but in this video we're going to be having a look at potentially Erling Haaland, where he'd fit into this Chelsea team. Not that, be hard for him to fit in whatsoever, because he would be the main guy in this team, I think. And yeah, just seeing how Erling Haaland, in my personal opinion, and of course a lot of people's opinions as well, would make us Premier League champions next season, in my personal opinion, and maybe even untouchable in the next few years. So yeah, let's just get straight into this video now. So we'll start off with, of course, what we know at this moment in time, of course, regards to this situation of Erling Haaland and potentially moving to Chelsea this summer. Apparently, in the words of a lot of credible sources on Twitter and social media in general, it does look like the words that they have used is that Chelsea and Roman Abramovich are working intensively to try and sign Erling Haaland over the course of this transfer window. It doesn't look like money is going to be an issue in this case, especially with the fact that Roman Abramovich has made a lot of profit over the last few years with the sale of Eden Hazard, the transfer ban, etc. I know he spent a lot of money last summer, but obviously winning the Champions League as well will help a lot on the financial side as well. And yeah, overall it does look like we're going to have at least 200 million, if not 250 million, to spend on this squad and give Thomas Tuchel what he needs to, of course, turn us into Premier League champions next season. And at the same time, it does look like as well, according to some reports as well, that Erling Haaland is actually interested in moving across the seas to London to Chelsea Football Club, which is definitely a positive and an exciting thing to hear as a Chelsea fan, because if a player like Erling Haaland wants to join your club, I mean, you can't help but feel excited, because Erling Haaland at this moment in time is probably one of two generational talents that are guaranteed to be dominating in football for the next 10 years alongside Kylian Mbappe. So the fact that Chelsea could potentially sign Haaland, and the fact that you want to join us with this project, we have a lot of young players that are quality in general as well, with a manager like Thomas Tuchel, who has shown over the course of his Chelsea tenure so far that he is capable of achieving greatness. It's looking really good from a Chelsea fan's perspective at this moment in time, I think it is fair to say. The only thing about this is, of course, the deal between the two sides, and I think that financially this will be the main thing that disrupts this deal potentially, because it does look like Borussia Dortmund are going to hold out for around £170 million, even though of course they did qualify for the Champions League. That was the main reason why they might be reluctant to sell, because if they didn't get Champions League football, they might be enticed to sell him, because of the fact that obviously that Erling Haaland has this release clause of next summer, I think around £60 to £70 million. So I think they'd be smart to actually cash in at this moment in time, because they're getting way more than double the value. I think they'd be a bit stupid overall to not cash in this summer, and obviously Erling Haaland, they'd want to have him for next season, there's no debate in that. But if you think about it, 170 million for another year, I mean, what's that? 170 million minus 70 million, 100 million. Is it worth that 100 million pounds for Dortmund to have him for next season? Obviously not, if you're thinking about it from a logical perspective, from, balancing the books. And obviously there's a lot of reports as well saying Dortmund don't want to sell Erling Haaland, but that was going to be obvious, because obviously they're going to say that they don't want to sell Erling Haaland, but they may be forced into it, especially if Chelsea were to offer, around 140, 150 million pounds, because of course, we've seen over, the course of her being at the club, Marina Granovskaya, she's really good and excels in this department of, trying to lower the value of players down and trying to get the right deal for us. So I definitely do have confidence in her to, maybe lower the value by 20 or 30 million, even maybe more than that. And yeah, let's just think about, where Erling Haaland would actually fit in at this Chelsea team, and of course, the impact he would have on this team overall, because obviously Thomas Tuchel is going to be the man that brings us into next season. I think there's no debate over that whatsoever. He's proved since he's come in January how good he's been for us. Obviously, he's won us the Champions League. There's absolutely no debate in that whatsoever. And so far, since Thomas Tuchel has arrived, we've been absolutely unbelievable. We've been absolutely perfect. I'm pretty sure I'm right in saying since he's come in, we're actually second in the league behind Man City, which just goes to show how good of a form we've actually been on under Thomas Tuchel. And so far, we've been perfect in terms of pretty much everything, in terms of defence, not conceding goals, transitioning from defence to attack, getting the ball into the final third, creating chances as well. Hasn't really been an issue in most games. The one issue has been putting the ball in the back of the net enough times, and we've only actually, I think, scored more than 2 goals in one game this season, if I'm actually right in saying that, and that was the game against Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park, when we did win by 4 goals to 1 there. So it's clear to see that we need a striker that is going to take the chances we do create and just put the ball in the back of the net from absolutely nothing, and that's exactly what Erling Haaland would give you. In my personal opinion, he's unfloppable in the Premier League, and obviously I know it's dangerous to say that as a Chelsea fan, because we have a record in the past with Fernando Torres and Alvaro Morata and Andrei Shevchenko and Matija Kezman, etc., that we have a bit of a curse to a certain extent in terms of strikers coming in and just not hitting the ground running and just doing really poor and being branded a flop. But I just think that Erling Haaland, I don't think he can flop flop simply because of this reason. He's a freak of nature. You see his stature. I mean, physically, he's absolutely unbelievable. He dominates defenders for fun. And of course, Haaland does have those roots in England as well. Obviously, he grew up for a little bit of time in England as well. His dad played for Man City and Leeds, of course, as well. So he will have that, you know, knowledge of how to actually play in England and what it takes to play in the English Premier League. And yeah, I just think that Haaland would just take us up another level, if not 2 levels, because honestly, he would bring us to another level with the goals he would bring. I think Chelsea would be virtually unplayable for a lot of teams next season if we were to, you know, click right the same way we did back in the last season with Thomas Tuchel defensively and in terms of going forward as well into the final third. I think Haaland would just complete this team and just make it the beast that Thomas Tuchel wants us to be next season, if I'm being perfectly honest. And if you're thinking about Erling Haaland as well, as I said, he's up there with Mbappe in terms of the global brand he'll have for the next 10 years or so. And I just think that he guarantees you at least 10 world-class seasons. He's only, I think, 21, 22 years of age. He still has a massive ceiling. The fact that he's not even hit his best yet, he's not even near his prime, is just scary at this moment in time, because he's got 20 plus goals in I think every single professional season he's had so far, or at least in the last 2 or 3 seasons of his professional career. I think Haaland, you know, he guarantees you at least 20 goals in, you know, nearly every season he plays, and I think he would be an absolutely unbelievable signing. I've never wanted a signing more in my life as a Chelsea fan than Erling Haaland, because I just think he'd bring us up so many levels and he would just guarantee us success for the next few years. And once again, he would make us that money back eventually, because of course, even if the 150, 160, 170 million wasn't worth it from a football aspect in terms of shirt sales, the overall global brand Erling Haaland will turn out to be in the next few years. I just think it's a no-brainer for Chelsea whatsoever, and I wouldn't be surprised whatsoever if Roman Abramovich and Chelsea try to get this deal over the line. I think the main object here is, you know, or the main obstacle I should say, is Mino Raiola, and overall, you know, how much money he wants or demands in his wages and agents fees, etc. I think if they get that sorted out, we could have ourselves Erling Haaland by the start of next season, and honestly, that would absolutely blow my mind. That would be unbelievable scenes if Erling Haaland was a Chelsea player come the start of next season, but of course we wait and see what happens. And yeah, that will bring us to the end of this video. If you enjoyed this video, as per usual, if you could leave a like, that would be massively appreciated by myself, and also if you could subscribe to the channel as well, that would also be hugely appreciated. We are looking to hit 1.7k subscribers on this channel as soon as we possibly can. Once again, guys, thanks very much for the support on the channel recently. It has been absolutely unbelievable, and yeah, back to uploading daily now for the foreseeable future. The Euros, of course, kicking off on Friday, so really looking forward to that. And yeah, that is where we're going to leave this video, so thanks very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys in my next video. So yeah, see ya.